Hello and welcome back to this beginner's guide to Trove modding. Today we're going to be diving into a bit of a more advanced topic. I think this is quite important information. I believe it to be sort of just between advanced and basic, but I still believe it's core knowledge of modding. It's very important. And what I'm talking about is material mapping. Now, what are material maps? They're basically like, they're just ways of telling the blocks on your project what they should be. So say I've got something I want to be glass, or something I want to glow, or something that wants to be metal and shiny, or something that I don't want it to be default, but I want to look a bit waxy. There is an option for waxy. And yeah. Basically, it's telling what effects to apply to what blocks. So we'll get into all that and just absolutely give you a rundown on the basics and what works and what doesn't work, and then just making our own material maps on our Neon Ninja costume that, while we've been away, I've colored in just to sort of give a basic one mono recolor so we can attach our material maps quite easily. So let's look up this material maps sort of JPEG, sorry, it's not sort of, it is. It's a JPEG of a very old guide. It's made by Kung Fu Quickness, who's a very old player. As you can see down this bottom, there's an image of a very, very, very alpha-looking Trove. So let's just start off. Step 1, make a base model. Absolutely. I think we've done that. Step 2 is a type map. So what a type map is basically just the first way of saying, hey, what do you want to be? Do you want to be a solid? Do you want to be a glass? Do you want to be a tiled glass, glowing solid, glowing glass? And what these colors mean is, what the colors mean is what we apply it, how we apply the material maps to the actual items. So let's say, let's just go into a cubicle here. I'm not really great at explaining it, and I don't think it's a very easy topic to explain. So what we're going to do is, just quickly, we're just going to view up here, and the basic information. A material map is on 3 parts. So let's just select everything with a drag. You can do this on the move tool. You don't need the rectangular select tool. You can also do it on the move tool. Let's just Control C V, and that just copied everything we selected in the same place it is. So if we move this, we'll find that the original is still there, and we're just moving the copy. So if you Control V again, it'll just go back to here and show it's selected, but it's just another copy being created on where we want to go. So let's just drag that. 3 copies. Perfect. That's what we want. So first step, let's just Windows key left for that. First step is the type map. So what I mean by the colors being applied to our item in the cubicle is basically we're going to apply this color to the parts we want it to apply to. So let's say I want the body to be glowing solid. So if I just go here, I've got these colors already pre-selected, but you can just go in here. So let's say 25500, 255 red, 0 green, 0 blue. As you can see there, it's just red's the first number, green's the middle, blue's the last. And I want glowing solid, so let's get that selection. And I want the parts in red that I've already got to be glowing solids. I don't want them to be see-through blocks, I just want them to glow. So let's just, since it's a monocolor, we can just paint bucket and choose all the red, and we'll turn off, as we learned, contiguous, and just make all the red blocks on this body glow. And there we go, we've applied that color to these blocks, and that's going to be our type map. So what you can do as well is just go to this solid section. So it's basically a default saying, hey, we don't want these blocks to be see-through, they're just basic solid blocks. So if we go to F, as you can see, it's just basically pure white. You can just go up to the corner of any of these colors, straight up to the corner, and it's quick. But it's 255, 255, 255 for red, green, blue. Click OK. And anything we don't want to glow or be glass or anything like that, we just want to make white. And as we learned, the contiguous is the easiest and best way to do that. especially if you're working in sort of just easy colors like this. If it's more detailed, of course, you'll have to spend more time, but let's just be fast, as this is a basic guide. So you can do that to all the parts, but for now, we're just going to do it to the body and maybe the shoulders. So let's just do that. So you just want that to white, that to white. As you can see, we don't touch the AP point on these, remember? Never mess with the AP point. But let's go glowing. We'll do that to the other side as well. So let's get that done. And why not? Let's do the hands. Let's do that. Let's do red on the one red part. Let's do this. Let's do red. Let's do white. Let's do white. Let's just do the whole thing actually. So we'll just, oh whoops, I forgot that is contiguous. So let's just do the entire thing. We've got the little thigh part. Oh no, Control Z, remember? Gets rid of mistakes. So let's just select here. We want white because that's not red. White, red. Beautiful. A really cool function, by the way. This is more advanced, and I wouldn't recommend doing it. It's only on simple models like this. You can actually select the, let's select this thigh just down here if I can actually, there we go. And then let's, no, that's not the thigh. Come on. Hold on, I'll grab it. Okay, I've selected the thigh there, as you can see. We hold shift, we select the knee, and then we select the foot. And we can just copy that. And then we just delete these parts. And then we just paste. And then we just flip. So if you go to transform, so it's file, edit, create, transform, and just flip X. We just copied that leg. We just flipped it into the right. So it is the right side of the legs now, and we just move that to where it's supposed to be, and boom, we don't have to waste our time going to every single block and coloring those in. Really helpful for just, you know, pure same side stuff. Sorry, the other side if it's no different. So with that, we've finished our type map. Now for the alpha map, it's basically how transparent do you want a block to be. So this really only refers to glass blocks. If you chose to make a glass block in here, you can then do the alpha map for that and change the opacity of that glass block. So let's say I want it to be really see-through, so it's barely just there. You know, I'll make it 16, 16, 16, which is nearly black. Opaque is 240, 240, 240. That means it's less see-through, and you can just use this basic guide to go through that. The specular is next. Since we don't have any alpha maps, we can actually just skip that entirely. Saves a lot of time. Specular map is great. It's one of my favorite. So we can make it rough. That's default. So we'll just put rough mapping on the stuff we aren't really touching in terms of what we're applying. There's metal. There's water effect, but the water effect is not Trove water as you know it. So it's a weird sort of effect on the blocks. You'll see if you sort of experiment with it. Iridescent, a very shiny preset, and waxy, as we learned before. A good note about this is, if, say, okay, so we chose glowing blocks on these parts here. If we wanted to go down and then make them metal, we cannot do that. So sort of mixing and matching type maps and specular maps don't work. So do not be fooled by that. Even though it's interesting because this guide actually says to, don't do that because they don't work. Glowing block will not be a metal block. It will just be a default glowing block. But even with that, we'll just go to default, which is rough, which is here on the specular, and it is just 12800. So we will cover in all the parts that we are really not touching. So that's just the glowing parts. As you know, we'll just use the contiguous off on the paint tool for that. And then we want the rest of the body to be metal. So let's just go to green. I've already got these pre-saved, but as you can see, it's just 01280, which is this. There's the hex if you really like to use those. And we'll just go with contiguous off, selecting all the colors. And there we go. And then we can just do the same all of this. I'll end up leaving half of it off. I think I'll go through and just quickly do that just after this. So if we just want it to be rough, want this to be metal, this to be metal, we want this to be rough. No, come on. It's got to get like that. Pixel perfect. There we go. You don't have to do that. I just don't want to rotate the camera. Laziness. Don't do what I do in that sense. I've grown lazy over my time in modding. So I'm going to leave it like that just to show some bits not with the specular map. And then I'll come into here and just take away some of this, which will show you the difference when it goes in game. So you'll see the glowing and the non-glowing. And let's just do the foot. Oh, yep, I did. It's finicky like that, but just make sure you don't touch the AP block like I did just then. So we don't have an alpha map, we don't need that. Let's test this all out, I reckon. So with there, that's our specular and type map done. That's our material maps done. And we basically just need to turn these into, you know, the maps that we want. I think we'll do that now. Absolutely. So another file I do have actually in my images is a really good example of some of the effects on these blocks. So as you can see, there's glass, there's solids, and it just goes through and shows you like all the different types on some very different block types. It's just really helpful. Yeah, you get it. I think there was a Reddit post about this. It's very old, but this is a very good image to kind of show you like what it looks like in game. Like there's some glowing and there's some glass, and experiment around. That's all I'll say. Experiment around. It's very, very helpful when you get material maps right on a project. So we have created these material maps. Now I'll show you how to export these material maps and how they view in game in the next part. For now, I just wanted to show them being made in game. So with that said, great. I'll see you in the next section of the guide, and good luck. But we'll view these all in game, as I said, when we go into the export section of that guide. So thanks for watching, and see you next time.